Picture going down a hill at 50 miles an hour with four of your closest friends, inches apart from each other, on nothing more than a piece of wood and four wheels. That's adrenaline to me. Tony Owen of Skateboard Magazine recently reported on Micho Urban, a downhill skateboarder who holds the current world record of 80 miles an hour down a hill in Colorado. Everyone knows of a hill that they grew up on or near them, and everyone probably imagined going down that hill on their skateboard, bicycle, or other four-wheel toys, and I just took full advantage of the amenities that the jurisdictions provided us. So today I'm going to discuss the differences between shortboarding and longboarding and how to assemble a downhill longboard. So Clive Gifford, a skateboard journalist and who also is a journalist for other sports, reported about the differences between durometers on skateboard wheels. Shortboarding, you will typically find your traditional boards that have double kicks on them. You'll find traditional trucks that are used for grinding, and then different durometer wheels that Mr. Gifford had explained about. The durometer is the hardness of a wheel, and on shortboarding you typically use a harder wheel because of the contact patches that you're on, whereas in the longboarding world you have softer wheels, because you can actually squeeze those. The differences also within the longboard wheels are you have wide wheels, narrow wheels, taller wheels and shorter wheels, and then contact patches which may be flat or round. These are used for the different disciplines within the longboarding community, mainly between cruising, which is done around campus, the rounded wheels, which can be used for what we call free riding, or going down a hill sideways or stylishly down a hill. And then my favorite, the wide, big wheels that are used to go as fast as possible down the hill. So quickly, you have your skateboard itself, which typically will come either pre-gripped or you'll have to put grip tape on itself. This one came pre-gripped from the factory. The tools that you're going to be using are obviously the board itself, the different hardware that holds what you have your trucks onto the board. I have risers which create a space between the truck and the board so you don't get what we call wheel bite. Your truck's bearings, and of course your wheels. So you start off by placing your screws through the board. There are 4 different points in which they'll go in, and you'll want to notice that there are different sets of holes within the board. They'll need to match up a specific way. So you'll finish in this case by putting the last 2 in, and then you will place your truck onto the bolts. You'll then take your nuts that go to the trucks and secure the trucks and the riser to the board. Once you've got those completely put on, you'll start next by taking your wheels, and they should be bare at this point. You'll take a bearing and place it onto the truck itself, and the wheel with the outside part of the wheel press down onto your truck. Take that off, flip it over, place another bearing onto the truck. You'll then place what we call a spacer, which basically keeps the bearings from shifting inside the wheels. Flip the wheel over, press it down, put what we call a speed ring, which does the same thing as a spacer. It just keeps the wheel and the internals of the wheel from shifting when you tighten. And you want to tighten as tight as you can go, and the wheel should spin on its own for quite a long time. One note I always make is make sure that everything is completely tightened down as tight as it can go. The last thing you want to do is be skating down a hill at 20, 30, or 40 miles an hour only to realize that you have loose trucks. So always make sure that everything is tightened down as tight as it can go. And finally, before you go out to the hill and skateboard, make sure that you have all of your safety gear, helmets, knee pads, slide gloves, and for those of us that may do specific downhill, we have aerodynamic helmets or leather suits that we will wear. And the one final note that I will add on top of that is make sure that you follow all of your traffic laws. Skateboarding, especially downhill skateboarding, should follow the same laws as bicyclists. So we are following the rules of pedestrians right side of the road, and always yield to traffic. So go out, skate, and have fun.